Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter, what, 620? Or is this 6? This is 622. Holy shit, I'm drunk. So, this chapter, god damn, Oda knows how to go for it, man. Like, he knows how to go for just for the jugular when it comes to dealing with just controversial topics. So, he stuck the tip all the way in when it came to dealing with the slavery part, because when you go from having a character like Arlong killing humans and getting berated by Tiger to Tiger saying, hey, we don't kill anybody, to this little girl Koala, I think that's her name. And I feel like I've seen this chick. I really do. I feel like I've seen her. I might be mistaken. Either I've seen her or she's being set up for later, okay? But I like how he says, like, hey, look, we're going to take her back to her home. And I believe they got her off of Amazon Lily. And what I find just the craziest about all of this is the fact that when Tiger brands her, you have Jinbe make a comment that just stood the fuck out. And what he says is, he says, her slave training is too deeply ingrained. If a slave cries or stops working, they can be killed. Slaves live in constant fear for their lives. And this is nuts, because in that brief moment when Arlong is just knocking the fuck out of this little kid, he became the very thing that he hated, because he's no different than those celestial dragons. And I totally understand it. I mean, he's gone through different things. He's been, you know, discriminated against, oppressed, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you can't behave in that manner. And I like how, in a way, you can look at Tiger and say he's going about things a different way than the Queen. But in a way, they have the same goal. The Queen wants to do things peacefully, much in the same way like here in America, Dr. King wanted to go about things in a peaceful way. And yet, on the flip side, you have a character like Tiger who says, I've seen too much. I've seen humanity at its lowest. I'm going to take the Malcolm X approach. I don't care if I got to beat a few people's heads in. And yet, the goals were the same. The goals were the same. And actually, when you go a little deeper into just American history, you know, one of the things that you see with this group is very similar to what the Black Panthers are doing. They weren't just super militant and everything, but they were also going into the impoverished black communities, and they were educating a lot of those kids. They had they took up the schooling themselves, because when you went to the public schools, you were given books that were old as fuck. And so they were taking their own resources and educating in that way. Granted, at the same time, there was a militant thing. And so when you look here, it's the same thing. Yes, they freed slaves. Yes, they want equality for fishmen. But at the same time, not so much equality, but just to overcome the shackles that are on them. But even he draws a line and says, I can't have anybody killing. I can't have anybody killing. And I believe he even tells Arlong that killing humans makes them no different. Right here. And he says, nothing more, nothing less. If we allow hate to drive us to avenge ourselves, it will only lead to the humans to retaliate with even greater brutality. Innocent fishmen will suffer for our deeds. Do you understand? We fight and rob those who attack us, but we never cross that final line. We never kill. And this is what I mean. Like, you have somebody who wants the same thing, but he's willing to go about it in a morally gray area. And in that language, he says, we fight and rob those who attack us. And it's the same thing. One side in the civil rights era, they're like, I don't care if I get hosed or if dogs bite me or if I get beaten. We're going to get our point across some kind of way. On the flip side, you had another group that said, if we get so much as hit wrong or shoved or forcefully moved, we're going to escalate it. And it's the same thing. And both sides, in this case in One Piece, are right to an extent. but at the same time, by continuing to fight in the manner that they're done, that's why they have a bounty. And so it makes you wonder which way is the right way. And I like how the Queen says, well, I don't care if you sign it today, tomorrow, 3 years from now, 7 years from now, 15 years from now. Sign it so that one day we'll be able to go to the reverie and we'll be able to make our case there. And I like how she never gives this up, despite the fact that the whole dynamic's changed. The whole dynamic has changed. And even the Navy is becoming aware, and you just see Jinbe starting to rise up. You see this Tiger character with the $230 million, 230 million berry bounty. You see this, and you see the ramifications, and it goes on what was talked about in the last chapter. Those who are in power hate change, and for better or worse, they're enacting change. And you see it in characters like Hody Jones, where as adults, like I can say this now being an adult, now you have to be cognizant of the young generation behind you that's paying attention, because they will mirror you. They will look to you for guidance. And for better or worse, they're going to pick up your good or bad habits. And I can say this being somebody that's in my 20s. You know, when I see somebody that is in their early teens or younger than that, and I see that they're paying attention to me, I make sure I don't curse. I make sure that I don't say anything vulgar. I behave in a certain way, because you leave impressions. And with Hody Jones, you see him going from, oh wow, he attacked the celestial dragons, to, oh, they're going around the world and they're killing humans. Get all of them, Sun Pirates. You see the seeds being planted. And this is making me wonder what's going to cause this split. What's going to make Jinbe go his way, Arlong go his way, and what's going to make Tiger eventually fall. That's going to be interesting. And you know, in a certain extent, somebody human could have gave the blood and they didn't, because it was touched on, it was foreshadowed. But this is good. This is good. Now, again, I can totally see why more than likely this is not going to be a popular arc with people, because Oda's touching on one of the last few taboos in our civilization, particularly with Western fans. I could see why this is probably not going to be a very popular arc, okay? Because when it comes to taboos, race is the last one we have not broken through. And the current tension we have now is just proof of that. And so I can understand when people might say, I don't want to deal with this stuff, and there's not as much action, and you're getting all these backstories, you're getting more character interactions with this stuff. I totally get it, but I commend Oda for taking the stance that he's done with this, man. So my chapter question to you guys is, what did you think about Tiger's ideology, where he says we can't kill the humans because if we kill them, it's just going to bring more violence? He's somebody with a code. Or did you see things more in Arlong's perspective? And finally, what were your thoughts about this young girl who is so terrified of fucking up that she doesn't cry, and she cries in a chapter, but she doesn't cry, and it's because if she stops working, she could be killed? What were your thoughts about Celestial Dragons at that point? For me, my opinion of them hasn't changed, but I'm more aware of their brutality. You saw them at the archipelago killing humans who are no longer useful to them, but like now it's just like, even a young girl like this was being branded and brainwashed and just instilled with that level of fear. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Have an awesome day.